Hello Bard haters, and welcome to another fine We Hate Bards Let's Play. I'm Ben, and this is more Fallout New Vegas, Hardcore Permadeath. Last time I finished most of Camp McCarran, and came back to Novak now to deal with a few unfinished bits of business here. And I want to point out, we've got Boone with us now! That's right, Boone is a companion.
To Nelson.
Oh, and he's going to tell us a little thing.
Shooting any
That's not a problem, that's a solution, absolutely. I hate the fucking Legion. So yeah, I wanted to get the stuff at Camp Forlorn Hope dealt with, the first of which is doing this one. I can't even remember what it's called, but clearing out Nelson, basically. But the reason I'm bringing Boone with me for this is because to access Boone's loyalty quest, you need to get a certain number of history points with him that involve doing a variety of things. And one of them, I think the one that gives you the most, I think it gives you like 3, is if you bring him to Nelson to save the hostages here, and actually save them rather than kill them, which is not hard at all to do. It's actually quite easy.
Psycho on you. Maybe we could pep. But since that's
I might actually have a few dozen doses of Psycho on me. I have quite a lot of Psycho that I haven't used yet. So all we really have to do for this quest, he says don't try to be a hero and save the hostages.
To hell with Mercy Kill.
Really, it's
those guys out of there.
Yeah, no shit. Really, it's not that hard to do. All you have to do is kill the people like from this hill up here. And hope that Ranger Milo doesn't go charging in and get himself killed, because then the quest automatically fails. This quest is actually quite easy. Oh! Oh, crap! Boone! 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 He's too close for me, he's too close for me. Or maybe not. Yeah, they don't normally charge up the hill that quick. It normally gives you more time to react. So all we gotta do is find the Legion soldiers patrolling this area, and pick them off one by one. Why can I see the NCR soldiers but not the Legion? I know there's Legion here. There's one on my screen right now. Ah, there's one. Biscuits. Alright, you fucker. Prepare to die. If I can hit you. Are they running away? Well, it makes my job easier, I guess. Well, I was hoping to deal with this at range, but, I guess we're just gonna have to rely on 10mm submachine gun like we always freaking do. Ah, there's one. No. Oh, no. Boone, Boone. You're not killing him good enough. And I'm now hated by the Legion. But yeah, this was much easier than I ever remember it being, even. Because we've only killed 3 legionaries and 2 dogs. So they weren't even outnumbering us 3 to 1. They were barely outnumbering us 2 to 1. Yeah, it's generally pretty easy to just come right on in here and get these guys untied and just walk right back out. So once they get back, and actually right now we've already got the +3 history points from Boone for this. But once they get back, then we'll end the quest, and again, fairly anticlimactic. Not hard at all to just run in and save everyone. Honestly, the hardest part of the quest is just waiting for the fuckers to get back, because they generally get caught on everything. Yeah, I don't know if you have to wait for all 3 of them to get back, but I don't think you should, so we're just going to talk to him and see what he says.
Me and Carmine. That's my howdy. What's the... I have to admit, I'm not authorized to pay...
So we get a bunch of experience for that. I'm going to want to use the Ripper for this next part, because... I mean, in retrospect, using a ranged weapon on a melee character is almost always preferable. But it appears most of these guys have guns, and since the Legion is heavily armored, you're going to want to use the Ripper to rip through their armor. This is why I mentioned that. There are actually more of them up here. I think about 3. And they're not any harder than the ones we already killed, but they are going to shoot at us a bit. Get over here, you stupid... No! Don't attack Boone, you... Are they all dead? Well, we're vilified either way. Oh! That's throwing spear. Okay. I'm wondering, I was worried that was a grenade. Screw you. Yeah, this is why I generally don't bring Boone along with me, because as you can see, so far, charging into Nelson, where there's like, several legionaries, coming out here to fight several more of them, that was piss easy, because he just killed them all so quick. And I feel like turning an element of the game like that, like the game's major antagonist, into some cakewalk victory sort of defeats the purpose a little bit. So I generally don't want to use companions, because I want the game to be at least somewhat of a challenge. So after you get past Nelson, if you head straight north, pretty much, you will come up upon a bunch more of these towers here, which are signs that we're nearing Camp Forlorn Hope. And now we have officially unlocked it as a fast travel location. So the only real quest we're going to be doing here, and the only real quest to do here, is restoring hope. There are a bunch of like little sub-quests underneath that will help you in completing that quest, but it's just going to be under the general head title of subtitle of Restoring Hope. And the first thing we need to do to activate it is come in here and, oh look, First Recon.
Patrolling the Mojave.
I completely forgot about First Recon. Yeah, if you do 3-card bounty before you come to Camp Forlorn Hope, then First Recon will just show up at Camp Forlorn Hope. Yep, and there is a quest, I Don't Hurt Anymore. I forgot to pick that up in Camp McCarran before coming here.
Hey.
But that's not actually what I wanted at this exact moment. So the actual quest for Restoring Hope is over here with Major Palatli.
I've got the Legion at Nelson.
And he needs to do a couple things for him.
I want you to...
First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to Quartermaster Mays,
Nice to see a friendly face.
who will tell us that his shipment didn't show up on time. And that quest will take us a while, so before we do that, we're going to do a couple other minor things around here. If you want, actually, you can just go and tell Major Palatli, I'm done with this, I think I'm ready to go, and we can storm Nelson right now. But one, if you do that, you miss out on the experience. And two, the troopers that are sent with you are also quite weak, and you don't get as many of them. And I'm checking my medicine skill, because I'm trying to think if I have enough medicine to do any of these things yet. So yeah, someone is stealing the supplies here, and it's making life a bit difficult for them. So we're going to go and help them out with that, but before we do it, we're going to diagnose some of these troopers. Okay, apparently we can't treat any of those troopers until we've done this other thing first. Luckily for us, it's nice and easy. If you go back here behind where the barracks is, there's a guy standing here looking awfully suspicious. And medicine at 50 will allow us to notice that his eyes are dilated, and he appears to have an increased heart rate. So we'll tell him that we know he took the drugs. He'll give us an explanation. We're going to try and convince him to turn himself in. Oh, crap. Yeah, apparently I need a speech 60, which it isn't quite high enough to do yet. So we'll tell Dr. Richards that Private Stone has been stealing his stuff. I think normally when I do this, my speech is like a 70, but I've been neglecting to get it up some of my other skills. And that'll give us 297. I don't know if that'll be enough to level us up quite yet. Not quite. So as Quartermaster Mays was telling us, we need to go and investigate these supplies that went missing and figure out where they went. And in order to do that, he sends us over to Helios 1. So I just fast traveled back here to Gibson's Scrapyard because it's the closest place I've got. And we're going to go and ask them if they've heard head or tail of any of these supplies. And now it looks like my dehydration level has increased again, so that's awesome. If you've got a high enough NCR rep, you can just tell them that you're here to help, and that'll unlock the quest Lucky Old Son, which I'm going to do next time. And the quest description is actually talk to the idiot wearing sunglasses, which fills me with a lot of joy. But we're not interested in that right now. We need to check and make sure that they got here. Yeah, that Lucky Old Son isn't actually that hard of a quest to complete. I mean, there's robots, which is a bit of a pain. But honestly, it's not too bad. I just won't have the time to complete it this part. Uh-oh, geckos. Uh-oh, fire geckos too. This is even worse. Luckily, I've got Boone with me. This makes it really, really easy. Am I going to level up from that? Yes! So like I said, medicine's going to go straight up to 65 because I'm going to need it to finish this quest off. And I'm also going to put guns up to 74. Because then I'm only 1 point away from being able to use my sniper rifle to its maximum effectiveness. Now I'm debating how I want to do this part. Because you can see, there are NCR troops littered around this set of supplies. And I wonder what caused that. Well, if you are curious, I will tell you, the Legion. The Legion showed up and killed all these guys. Yes, the Legion showed up and ambushed these guys and killed them. You can't see them right now, they're in hiding. But the second I take the supplies out of that crate over there, they're going to show up and start killing me. I don't remember how many of them there are. I don't know what they're going to be equipped with, especially since I just leveled up. So I guess we're going to have to find out. And now we're going to work on getting out of here. Seriously. Seriously? That was your ambush. 2 guys. A guy with a knife and a guy with a hunting rifle. Not even a cowboy repeater. Yeah, I take back those insults I hurled at the Jackal gang members last part. This is way worse. I mean, at least they generally had about a dozen guys with them. These guys they suck at ambush. Honestly, I was really expecting a lot more Legion troops than that. I seem to remember it being like 4 or 5. But I guess I can't complain. I got what I needed, and got out of there without a scratch. Also, I think I lost Boone, because I went down all those freaking hills and mountains. So I'm hoping he catches up with me eventually. Where the hell is Quartermaster Maze? Alright, he's sleeping. So let's wake Quartermaster Maze up in the middle of the night to tell him the good news. I found the supplies you were bitching about?
I take it my men weren't fine.
Wait, no.
Thanks again for finding those.
Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted. Because
you
if we
to
tell him we're
collect
willing to
NCR
help,
dog.
he'll ask for dog tags. I've got dog tags I can give him.
Good work.
And he'll give us not a lot of bottle caps, but a little
Uh-huh.
bit. The reason I wanted to do that was because it's a very easy way to gain NCR rep, and in addition, if you give him enough of those, he actually does give you a bigger reward. I think you have to give him like 25 NCR dog tags, and he'll give you a bunch of stuff. So not only is Quartermaster Maze sleeping, Major Palatli is also sleeping. It's almost like these guys have an early bedtime or something, like, you know, because they gotta wake up early and actually do stuff. Who does that? Alright, now that we've done that, now that we've done the supply run, we can go and meet with Dr. Richards and help him with that. Fuck, is Dr. Richards sleeping too? Screw it, we're gonna sleep for 9 hours. This does admittedly mean that my dehydration is now worse than it was. In fact, I think it's now at almost at level 2. Yeah. So I actually am gonna have to burn a couple waters if I want to keep this up.
I've got a lot
Right,
to
now
do.
that we've had a
Make it
bit of a
quick.
drink, let's talk to Dr. Richards. Yes, I actually have quite a lot. I have way more than that. I'm at 65.
Excellent.
To wit, if you don't have a very high medicine, or if your medicine is not quite as high as you might need for some of these guys, 2 recommendations. 1, make sure you have a, this week's physician? Oh, today's physician. Close enough. Day, week. Not much of a difference. But yes, if you have a today's physician, it'll give you an extra 10 or 20 if you have comprehension. And there's also a bunch of supplies around here. And if it'll tell you with each of these people, okay, you may not have high enough medicine, but if you get the supplies to treat them, you can do it. So with this guy, we need medicine 35 or higher, which I have. But if you don't have medicine 35 or higher, all you need is Med-X, whiskey, and surgical tubing, all of which are around here in various areas. Next, we go to this guy who needs medicine 75. Oh, that's higher than what I've got. Alright, so we'll leave him for last. And we're then going to diagnose this injured trooper who only needs a medicine 50 or higher. Which, again, I have. This guy, unfortunately, we could not help out that much. We needed to amputate his leg and his hand. And I don't think there's any way of protecting him from that. So for the final guy, I am going to need to use one of my today's physicians. Which is fine, because that's why I have them. Specifically to do things like this. And that's all 3 of these guys saved. So let's let
I've got a
Dr.
lot to
Richards
do.
know.
Make it. Where'd you learn to do all that? I don't think I could have done
I read
much
a
better
magazine.
myself.
So that is, I believe, the last of the things we need to do here. And there is one more tiny thing I'm going to do before storming Nelson. I'll kind of show you what before I leave. Major Palatli, we're ready to go.
Count on that.
Let's go kill what's-his-nuts.
Kind of busy around here.
Do we have the troops to do it?
Not really, but
There is actually a way to help these guys out more, incidentally. If you go to certain other camps around the Wasteland, like Camp McCarran or Camp Gulf, a couple other locations, and offer to help them out, I think Helios 1 as well, if you do that Lucky Old Sun, they will send extra troops to Nelson. That is a lot of extra work that I'm not really willing to do, so we're going to take what we can get. But before I actually go, I want to come in here to the Forlorn Hope Barracks, because First Recon is here, and I need First Recon for a couple of things. First,
Bitterroot.
Sergeant Bitterroot. The reason we need to talk to Sergeant Bitterroot is because he'll tell us about the massacre at Bitter Springs, which, since we have Boone in our party, will trigger, eventually, the quest that we need to do to get Boone, to get Boone right with himself, I guess. His loyalty quest, that's what it's called. So that's triggered Boone's loyalty quest, or it will once I get enough history points. I just wanted to make sure that I had done that, because you need to in order for it to activate.
Trip.
The other thing we need to do here is we need to help Corporal Betsy and tell her to get medical help for her trauma, yada yada yada. With a speech of 60, we can just tell her, that certain things. But with a medicine of 40 or higher, which is generally the easier one to get, We can inform her that mental trauma is, you know, a treatable illness, but it's still an illness.
Just another injury.
We don't actually need to finish the quest yet, and admittedly we're not going to. But yeah, to finish that quest off, I don't hurt anymore. All you need to do is talk to Lieutenant Gorobets, tell him we've got Corporal Betsy to agree to get treatment for a trauma, then go all the way back to New Vegas, to the New Vegas Medical Clinic, talk to Dr. Usunagi, the person who gives you your implants, and tell her I've convinced Corporal Betsy to get treatment for her trauma.
Back already? What do you need?
Once we've done all that, and we're ready to be done with Camp Forlorn Hope once and for all, we can tell him we're ready to do the attack on Nelson, and he'll tell us to go meet Sergeant Cooper. Now, my memory on this mission isn't great because there's a bunch of different variables in play, but I believe if you've done most of the quests around here, not quite all of them, but if you've done the quests that I've done, and you're at level 10 to 15, they will all be equipped with shotguns, and there will be 3 of them in addition to Sergeant Cooper. I don't think there will be any Rangers, but there will be 3 troops. Which is, trust me, more than we will need to retake Nelson. You alright, Boone? You should be careful of those mines, man. They're kind of deadly. So Sergeant Cooper is right here, as you can see his 3 men. And looking on their backs, it does appear that they all have shotguns. This is what I was talking about earlier of troops getting stuck on things. They do generally tend to find their way around, but it's a bit of a nuisance all the same. I don't know why they went over the area that... Oh! Sergeant Cooper, your help is required, Here, let me deal with this guy. You appear to be stuck in a rock. That sucks for you. What the what? Man, you Legion guys suck today. Well, one NCR trooper down. I don't know how that happened, but apparently he's dead, so we'll just take his stuff. Let's attack from the north. I mean, we're already at the north is the thing. You're supposed to be able to talk to them before they leave, but in this case, they didn't wait. And yep, there's Nelson right there. Uh-oh! I really hope there aren't any more mines in this path, or this is going to be one short trip. Alright, Boone is at full health. I need to be very careful how I use him, because since we're in hardcore mode, companions can be killed. Yes, and so I don't want to lose Boone before I manage to do his loyalty quest. But another point of order, where the fuck is Sergeant Cooper? I still don't... Ah, there they are. See, this is why we need to discuss battle strategy before we charge right on in, because otherwise it just takes way too long to get where we need to be. So, as for the win condition for all this, it's really quite simple. Well, I say it's quite simple. It's going to be a little bit tricky in practice. So in that hut is a Legion commander. I don't remember the specific rank he is, but he's in there with like 4 or 5 troops, which is a lot. I will be honest, it is a lot. Although given the current strategy of the Legion, they haven't been putting up much fight, so I'm not terribly worried. All we have to do to win this, we don't even have to kill all of the Legion in there. We just have to kill their commander, Dead C. The easiest way to do that is go into the Nelson Barracks, walk right back out,
Cut it out, will you?
oh, cock. So that quest I wanted to do, I forgot to remember to forget, Boone's unique quest, is now kind of a moot point because Boone has died. That freaking sucks. Yeah, I was really hoping to actually do Boone's unique follower quest. Not gonna get a chance to do that. You guys are really unhelpful! You freaking bastards. You let Boone die. You let one of your own go down. This is all your fucking fault.
Was some battle. Glad to have you on our
I am not glad to have you on my side at all. You didn't do anything.
You have my...
So yes, now that Boone is dead, which really freaking sucks, at the very least we can come back and turn in this quest. Well, good news. Attack on Nelson went okay. Or rather, I should say, I single-handedly won the attack on Nelson. You also owe me a new companion because you got my other one killed.
What?
Yeah, the things you're not used to in hardcore mode because you never fucking play it. Companions dying. Ammo having weight. All these things are things that to me don't necessarily make the game more challenging, they just make it more annoying. Because I'm still planning to complete the game even without Boone being around. As a matter of fact, as soon as I was done with the attack on Nelson, I was going to tell him to go back and wait at Novak. Because I wasn't ready to do the other things, because there's a few other things I actually would have needed to do. I would have needed to go back to Camp McCarran, and there's a couple people I could talk to there that would give history points. And I'm trying to remember, there's one other quest on the strip, I believe, that I would have had to go and deal with. And if I'd done that, I could have then done Boone's unique quest, I forgot to remember to forget, which would have required me to go out to Bitter Springs and kill a bunch of Legion. Could have done all that. Can't anymore. That's an entire quest gone now, and Boone won't get to be in the outro because he's dead. But at the very least, that's Restoring Hope completed, and now we're back on the strip to sell off all of our extra gear. And I'm going to call it a part here as well, because we've done quite a lot. We basically completely took back Nelson for the NCR. As I mentioned, pissed off the Legion quite a lot. And I'd be quite surprised if a bunch of hit squads didn't show up right around now. But I'm not quite done yet. We're not quite ready to go into this strip. And next time, as I mentioned earlier in this part, we're going to go and we're going to do That Lucky Old Son. Once I'm done with that, we're actually going to come back here and we're going to do more stuff with the, We're going to do some stuff with the Crimson Caravan. I'm going to at least get their quest started, if not complete a couple. But that'll be next time. I'm going to sell off my stuff, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I was Ben, and this was Fallout New Vegas Hardcore Permadeath. See you next time, everyone.